we're going to use it. Oh, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, yeah. It's me. It's your boy, the Louisiana Country Boy, coming at you. Not even live because it's not even my show. All right. I am just doing the recording here. The Country Boy has been kicked off of the show. Okay? Just letting y'all know. I know y'all didn't want to see my ugly mug. No way. You get tired of my loud mouth. The Country Boy has been kicked off. The show tonight is from the Selah Wellness Group. That's right. Selah Wellness Group. Ain't even worthless 2 cents. Selah Wellness Group. I'm recording, but I had to shut my mouth because I am the guest on the show. Duh.
Go figure.
Go. You heard that. That's the host right there. And guess what I'm going to do? Here in a minute, I'm going to get a host, all of this. The old Country Boy is just here to be interviewed. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to be proper. I'm going to be proper. And I'm going to get a proper interview. Look here. It's going to be fun. Y'all enjoy this. It is an honor. It is a pleasure. Let me say this before we even get started. It is an honor. It is a privilege to be asked to be interviewed. It means a lot. It means a lot. Not because it means a lot to me. It shows what God can do. I say it all the time. It shows what God can do. Ain't about me. I thank God for using me to touch anyone he sees fit. So look here. Old Country Boy finna shut up. And I'm finna turn this old thing over to the host. Here go the host, y'all. There go the hostess.
Hello, everyone. I am Tina Grimstead Campbell, and I am the founder and educational director for the Selah Wellness Group and the Selah Circle. And we have decided to join forces here, and the great part and the beauty of it is that I now have Donnie in the hot seat. And so we are excited because we are actually interviewing Donnie today. And there's a lot to be said in terms of this old country boy, but we've had a lot of fun and great connections. But tonight we're going to have some serious conversation about purpose and how purpose will chase you down and catch you. And I'm sure that, Donnie, you know all too well what that is about. So for many of you that have been a part of Donnie's podcast, and to those that are new to the Selah Wellness Group and the Selah Circle, I want to say welcome. I'm excited because Donnie and I joke around and laugh about a lot of things, but then we have some serious and deep conversations. So I really, really appreciate the work that he's doing in the community, and that he is understanding that the assignment that the Lord has on his life. And so with that being said, we're just going to get comfortable. And I told him that I'm taking over his show today, and I have him in the hot seat. And a couple of weeks ago, we did a podcast, and it was off the cuff, and he had me on the hot seat, and he knows how I feel about cameras and that sort of thing. But as I told him, I'm going to do this scared, and I'm going to do it anyway. So we are so excited, and so I get to talk to you guys about for those that don't know about Donnie. Donnie is a motivational speaker. He is a podcaster of the My Worthless 2 Cents. He is a motivational speaker. He's a life coach. But more importantly than all of that, he is a child of the King. And so he has used everything that God has given him, including the pain.
That's it.
And which led him to purpose. And so even without all of that, it is really what happened to him that really has me excited about tonight and what we want to talk about. And so it just shows you what happens when both pain and purpose collides, and what we know now is purpose. And so before I let him take charge for a minute, because he has a tendency to try to take charge on everything, but I told him tonight this is about me. But I want you to experience what happens when those two collide, when pain and purpose collides, and not only that, so that you'll know what happens when purpose chases you down and catches you.
Yes.
So
yes.
we're excited. We're going to talk about his new book. He is a new book author, Unlocking the Power Within. And we're going to talk about some fun things, but we're going to talk about some painful things too. But he has committed to God and his listeners that he's going to put everything on the table. And I appreciate you for doing that, because not everybody will do that. And so the reason why we have connected, because we both made a decision to be transparent, authentic, and unapologetic. And that's what I know about him. And so we're going to kind of get started. And so, Donnie, I like I said, I want you to be comfortable, and I want to say thank you for sitting in the hot seat. And so we're just going to share some things and with the listeners, and we're just going to talk about how did purpose chase you down, and after chasing you down, what happened, and how after pain you've seen purpose. And
yes.
So, of course, we know that everybody doesn't want to tell their story.
Right.
A lot of times people don't want to tell their story because of fear. And we know that fear is what? False evidence appearing real. So a lot of times we can't heal until we get rid of the fear.
Right.
And we put it out there, because what the devil will try to do, the devil will try to isolate you so that you cannot move into your purpose. So I'm going to get started. I want to, the things that, the accolades that you have, and things that you've accomplished within the community and that sort of thing, that's just only a part of who you are. So why don't you just kind of tell me briefly,
who am I?
Who is that?
I am just I'm just a Louisiana country boy. And that is true. This is not an act. That's who I am. I'm collard greens and cornbread fed. That's me. The thing is that even being that, I'm a person who's gone through hurt, through pain, through loss, through disappointment. And I'm not talking about that was something that other people did to me. A lot of that was what I did to other people. So I had to learn that, and I had to go back to a place. I had to go back to a very hurtful place. But it was only after becoming, as they say, it's real, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And nobody could do or say anything or make me change. Nobody could make me want to go back to that place. I had to reach that point in my life that some people call it the breaking point. I call it the climbing point, because, that's when I was ready to climb. That's when I was ready to elevate, that I had to go back and say, like, okay, why does this? Why does this? A lot of people think that things just happen. Life doesn't just happen. So for me, that's what it was. I am that guy. I'm growing into being the best possible man that I can be. I'm growing into being the best father that I can be. I'm growing into being the best Christian, the best friend, the best brother, the best uncle. I'm growing into being those things. I'm not there yet, but I'm growing into it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. Many times what's really critical is what happened to you. So what happened to you?
Well, for me, it was, I understand now, it was the book, Unlocking the Power Within, Reclaiming the Seed. It's unlocking the power what was in myself. What I lost many, many years ago was my voice. And when I say you lost your voice, you loud as heck right now, so I don't know how you lost your voice. When I say that, I didn't feel like anything I had to say was important. I didn't feel like that the things were important, and I didn't know where that came from. So I was this person, I was a go along to get along. I don't know if anybody know about that one. That everything was okay, like it was no big deal, when everything was. I didn't realize where it all started from. For me, it started at the point when I discovered it was because I had daddy issues. People are like, what do you mean you had daddy issues? I did not have my father. My father passed away when I was 5. And it was not the fact that my father passed away that created the daddy issues. The daddy issues came because, in my mind, And I can't say it happened, but this is how I feel.
Okay.
That nobody asked me
How you felt.
how I felt.
Right.
So through life, my quietness came because nobody really cares how you feel because ain't nobody finna really ask you.
So in reality, you gave your voice away.
Gave it away.
Okay.
Gave it away. Gave it away.
Yeah.
Gave it away. It's for me at that time, it was much better to be silent and in pain than to scream out.
Right.
Because if I screamed out, ain't nobody gonna hear me, and then they're gonna either ridicule or laugh or whatever. So it was much better to just be quiet. Just hold it.
Right. So with that being said, why now? Why tell your story now?
Because I didn't know I had a story.
Everybody has a story.
I thought this was life. This was real. This is how it's supposed to be. I didn't know that there was an issue because it was everybody else. I'm okay. See, it's that thing. I'm okay. I was walking around with this problem that I didn't see that I had. I was walking around going through failed relationships that it wasn't my fault. They just don't understand. I don't know what's wrong with them. I was wrong.
It was always somebody else.
It was somebody else. People don't understand me. This is just how I am. Again, this is just how I am. If you don't get me, that's your fault because you don't get me because I'm just going to be me. But somebody told me, if 3 or 4 people say the same thing about you, it ain't
Check
them.
yourself.
It ain't them.
Check yourself.
and that's what it got to that point. For me, it was loss after loss after pain after pain, and kept going. And I just kept going. And you can keep going until you run out of gas.
Oh yeah.
When God lets you go,
absolutely,
He'll let you go until it's down to the fumes.
Absolutely.
And then it's gonna be flip.
Absolutely.
And I hit that flip point. So
is that what this book is birthed out of? And if so, how long were you pregnant with this book?
Lord, that book came about when I first started fighting with God, and that was in 2015. Actually, Unlocking the Power Within didn't start as a book. It started as my outreach.
Okay. Your outreach in the sense of what?
In my outreach for men, Unlocking the Power Within began with, I knew that there was something inside of every man. Didn't know what, but I knew that we had a purpose. And it was unlocking the power within. It was basically unlocking the power within, rebuilding the man.
Okay.
Again, I didn't know that was.
But there's a seed in here that we can gather.
Oh, yeah. Everybody can gather from that. Yeah. Because the power lies within all of us. Exactly. That's the thing is, the two things. The power is within us, and also the key.
Right.
I make this joke. A lot of times what's wrong with us is we walking around with this big old keychain. And it only takes one key to unlock that lock. But we got all these keys, and we keep putting them here and wondering why. Look, you don't need all the keys.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to figure that one key for that lock. And the lock is us. And we have the key, and all we have to do is, and I'm telling you, it's almost like a light coming on when you finally do it. Now, you're going to cry some, because when you open that door, woo, because that means you got to, it ain't that easy.
Well, in the book, you talk about our latter day will be greater than our former days. And that is your expectation. Where are you now?
Wow. From then? Is
this your greater, or your greater is next?
Oh, the greater is next. But this right here, oh my! This is a 5-tier cake, and I'm on tier number 3. Okay. And I'm telling you, and as it goes, it gets better. It gets better. However, the circles get smaller.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
and we talk about that all the time. We have circles and corners.
Yes.
Everybody that's in your circle is not in your corner.
Not in your corner. Yeah, some people holding that towel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your influences. People that influence your life, whether it be in a positive way or in a negative way. So let's kind of.
Wow. I would say one. I would say, my mom, most definitely. She was driven. She was strong. She was a no nonsense. If you ask some folks that know me, they'd be like, "Oh, he just he mama boy." There ain't no mama boy. No, not me.
Sure you are.
Even though I'm the best. Now, I am the last of 4. Okay, I am the only boy.
Oh my.
All that means is they were all. I was the one that they was waiting on because they didn't have no more after me. That's
Okay.
they was waiting. It's like, ooh, we got to get that boy.
Well, after you, they gave up.
They just quit.
They just quit. This is as good as
we
it's
got
gonna
what we
be.
wanted.
Yeah.
But I would say, my mom, in the book, I talk about influences. There's different people, especially for men. You have coaches. I talk about Coach Dad. I talk about, Big Daddy or like Grandpa. There are these people that pour in. And I had many of those people that poured in, not realizing what they were pouring. Because, I can look now and go like, I get that. I get that. And those were mighty, mighty, mighty influences in my life. Growing up, I can say I had uncles that were around. That meant a lot. That meant a lot to be able to have. And my thing was, honestly, I didn't have a male right there. 2 things.
So that really adversely affected you.
Well, it was crazy. And I say this, is the craziness was this. For me, even though my father passed, my mom did, years later, she did get remarried, okay? But let me tell you where my twistedness was. I was still holding loyalty to my dad who had passed away.
Yeah. So you didn't even allow. Okay.
And it wasn't that he was bad. It was like, I was like, how can I split my loyalty for somebody that I didn't even know?
And so many of us do that even now. I mean, I know yours stemmed during childhood,
right.
But so many of us even hold on to that now.
Yes.
Our relationships are tarnished primarily because of loyalty to most times a person that's not even around anymore.
Right.
So,
and as children, we're not taught how to deal with that.
Right.
That was and I can't blame anybody again. It took me learning. I can't blame anybody because my parents, my mom, only knew what she knew when she knew it, and that's what she knew. So it wasn't her fault. It wasn't anybody. It wasn't a fault thing. But I'm glad that God allowed me the opportunity to grow, make some mistakes. I'm sorry, some learning lessons, some curves.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, okay? We're gonna get a little bit more personal. So, what does your healing look like now? And how did you receive your healing? I know that, of course, the Selah Wellness Group is a resource for those that are going through mental illness or just need some extra coaching, some life coaching. And so the unique part about us is that we go right directly back into the community that those uninsured or really just the forgotten community. I mean, I was raised in Sunnyside, so and so we go right back there. We go back into the schools and the universities, Texas Southern and U of H, and we provide resources. And first of all, we meet people where they are.
Yes.
So we provide a gamut of resources. So it's not about, okay, well, we're trying to get people in here. Right now, what we're trying to do is we're just trying to teach those of color the importance of mental wellness. Okay,
very important.
And then let's talk about generational curses. And one of them being, and as I said this before during an interview, is that my mom. I was raised in a traditional family. I had a mom and a dad. And life was wonderful and that sort of thing. But I didn't walk away unscathed.
Right.
And I think a lot of my trauma was probably self-inflicted. And I know a lot of us won't admit to that. There are a lot out there that have self-inflicted wounds.
Yes. And
so what happened to me is, even now, self-esteem issues, depression, anxiety. But I was raised by a mom that considered herself to be strong.
Right.
And so with that being said, I was the oldest girl. So in her mind, she taught me, no matter what, don't you cry. You're a strong Black woman. Okay.
They tell you,
absolutely. And when I look back at that, I'm like, I don't want to be a strong Black woman. I want to be a healed Black woman, because if I'm a healed Black woman, then I'm a strong Black woman.
Right.
So with that being said, that's one of those generational curses, because it's just passed down from generation to generation. What goes on in this house stays in this house. You don't talk about it. You don't write about it. Whatever the case may be. And so we're trying to dispel those myths and get rid of those generational curses, which is how the Seleness Wellness Group was birthed.
Right.
So I'm saying all that to say, what kind of, whether it be resources, I know you're a strong man of God, so I know that played an integral part of it, but what else helped you to get your healing?
I have gone through by choice. Now, I've done it not by choice, some counseling. I did some marriage counseling. It wasn't really by choice, because, back in the day, one of my exes, it's in the book. I ain't know. It's hot.
I told you he was transparent.
One of my exes and we went to counseling. Well, she wanted to go to counseling, fix this thing. I ain't got no problem. I don't know what we're going this. Look, and it was the realness back then. It was, how am I going to go to a counselor? Is she married?
Okay.
Which
is valid.
What's she going to tell me? What her relationship look like? So it was that. Now, I will tell you, to be honest, I went in there with that whole attitude.
Yeah, I know.
I had it. Can't tell me nothing. You don't know who I am. I'm listening. But there was some things that even when I wasn't listening, I was hearing.
Right.
I remember she said something that she called me a ostrich.
Oh.
And she said what I would do was, when things would come, I would bury my head in the sand and hoping they would pass away.
That probably was right.
She was pretty much close right there. Pretty much. But, and it was after, and that relationship didn't work, okay? Because I wasn't listening in counseling, okay? But it was after that things started to click. Even when we're not listening, we're hearing.
So that's a part of the pain that we were talking about. After pain lies purpose. So sadly enough, you had to go through the pain, you had to go through the divorce and that sort of thing. But divorces.
Yes.
But after all of that,
yes.
Why your purpose?
Right. And the thing is, and I'm not laughing about divorce, okay? I don't think that, I think that if you trust me, if that's where you're supposed to be, that's where you're supposed to be. If God has put you there. And again, I'm going to say this, I'm off the record. God don't tell that's your wife, okay? Because God didn't tell Adam that was Eve, okay? All he did was parading. Adam said, that is, okay? So don't be telling me God said that's my husband. He didn't talk to Adam. I don't know. Call me up, God. Let me know which one. Okay, but he didn't tell Adam, so I don't think he gonna just specifically say to you if he didn't tell it to Adam who was the first. But anyway, I'm sorry, I got off.
You all right? I told you he was wild.
Transparent. But yeah, it took a lot. The pain. There's things I say again, that going through the pain, but there is purpose. And that's why I tell people, don't give up. Just because you are where you are. I knew because something in me kept pushing up, saying, this ain't, there's something better. There's something better. And I think that God, in that sense, speaks to all of us and say, there's something better. There's something better.
And that's where that greater comes in. There's something greater.
If you want to stay stuck in the mud, trust me, the good Lord is going to let you stay stuck in the mud if you want to stay. He's not going to force you and push you out. He going to be like, he going to make some things uncomfortable. But if you be like, I can handle it. It's hurting, but I'm going to handle it. He going to be like, you know what? Go on, because when your time comes, your time will come.
So, Donnie, where are you now with purpose?
Woo. What God has shown me is this. everything I went through, every single thing has taught me to go back because there's somebody still going through. My purpose is to always encourage people. My purpose is to be the things that I didn't feel I had to others. Be the father that I didn't feel I had to my children. It is to be that. It is to be, first you are it and then you become it.
Absolutely.
And that is, and my purpose is to become these things, to, honest to God, if you see me and I'm smiling and I say good morning, I really mean that. I really do. It's not because it's like, you may be but guess what? It is a happy new day for me. Because the joy that I have, this world didn't give it and this world can't take away. And it's for me, my purpose is to spread that. As long as God gives me breath, as long as he wakes me up every morning, it's to spread that. It is to walk in that purpose, to walk in purpose, on purpose.
Well, let me say this, because I want to kind of back up and then we're going to get out of here. But I remember the last few years, okay? And I remember when we met each other, I remember where you were. I also remember, if you remember, you gave me a manila folder with your thoughts and your fears, and it was filled with transparency, and it was filled with you being authentic, and it was definitely filled with you being unapologetic. So, where are you now with that? Is that what?
That's it.
This is the story.
That is the story, and that's the tip of the story. I can't wait to write the last chapter. And when and that's gonna be about when I'm 120. I'm gonna write the last chapter, because I do believe that what's in here, a lot of people deal with. Maybe not exactly. That doesn't mean I'm not just talking about men. I'm talking about a lot of people, a lot of hurt, a lot of things that we've covered up, a lot of things that we need to go back and look at and reflect upon and go like, okay, now I need to fix this. Not mama need to fix it, not daddy. I need to fix this. It's painful. It is painful. I talk about.
But you must admit that even with that pain, you've been able to heal. You've been able to help others, and a lot of times just being able to talk about it.
Yes.
And we got to learn how to be better listeners. Okay, for those that people that come in contact with us, because many times, there are some that want to hear your story, but there are also some that are not interested because all they want now is for you to hear their story.
Right.
And so they become comfortable, okay, because they see that light that's in you. And so we too have to learn how to be better listeners, because like you, somebody else lost their voice.
Right.
And so that's what I think that is interesting enough. But I don't want to leave without talking about this, because I think it's really, really important. Let's talk about a little bit, and this is the crazy part of within Donnie. But I'm going to try to keep it retained. but I mean, he has developed a podcast, and it's called My Worthless 2 cents. So I really want you to talk about that, because I have to be completely honest with you. When Donnie and I first even talked about doing podcasting, and while I was running around encouraging him, the next thing I knew, he probably had about 70 podcasts to just my few. But here's a guy that really just has taken on purpose and has just completely run with it. And not only that, I'm so proud of you, because you've been out in the community. You've been hobnobbing with some of the best. Not only that, you've been able to meet people where they are. And so to me, that's a blessing and that's a gift. There is no fear in you in terms of when you talk about losing your voice. God gave it back to you. Man didn't give it back to you. God gave it back to you. And since that time, the one thing that I have noticed is when I tell you, you have been walking in your purpose, that is certainly a blessing. And I know we do a lot of joking and that sort of thing, but I see such greatness because of your transparencies, because we as women, we don't have a problem sharing and talking and that sort of thing. But, there are some things that we talked about, some podcasts about putting together, one of them being even a man can have a broken heart.
Yes.
And then, some other critical things. And so I think by bringing those issues to the table, not only are you continuing the healing process for you, but now you are helping to allow men
Yes.
to heal. And I'm going to tell you something. You may look and you may see scars, but the scars are just a reminder.
Yeah.
They're no longer flesh wounds.
Right.
And to know that these were able to heal and that they could have turned into something cancerous, but instead they healed. And so now all you see is a scar. And even with seeing the scar, it is such a stark reminder of where you've come from.
It's I will say this is if anybody knows the old country boy, I got a little princess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I got two of them. Well, I got a little princess. But what I will say is this is I tell people now, and I do this because it comes from the heart. I've been blessed. And when I say that, I don't mean it and I don't take it lightly. I've been able to go back to some places. Okay. I've been able to go back to some people. Mm-hmm. God has given me a second chance. I'm that person who was laid out on that operating table. Mm-hmm. And they pronounced me dead and pulled the sheet over. Mm-hmm. But God say not now. Mm-hmm. I was a god awful daddy to my baby, mm-hmm. to my oldest.
But to be able to admit that.
Be
able to admit that.
I was god awful. It wasn't that I wasn't there. I just didn't know how to be a dad.
Right.
I didn't know how to give her the things. Right. I felt like I wasn't good enough to be her dad. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's that trauma.
Yeah.
See, that stems from childhood trauma, which we're going to address those issues at another podcast. But childhood trauma.
And to be able to see in her the effects that me not being good to her, mm-hmm. or being all that I could have been to her, mm-hmm. what it did to her life, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. and how it traumatized her life. Mm-hmm. That's real. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you about that man. Mm-hmm. When I was at the point, he said, I can give you back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I can give you back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he blessed our lives with a little one. Yeah. So everything lessons. All the lessons I'm able to now pour in. And see, here's that little catch. I'm also able to still pour into my oldest and my grandchild.
Right. So he's God of a second chance. And it's funny you said that because I have a girlfriend that also is a book author. She wrote a book called Lessons Gifted Away. And so that's what you're doing. The life lessons that you've gone through, you're now gifting them away.
Yes.
And you're breaking generational curses.
Yes.
And that's what it's about.
And and that's the thing is we have to take this thing serious. The things that sometimes I still, a little tear comes to the eye. There's some things that but my problem was, and I thought about this today. God has been giving me assignments, and I wasn't taking them as assignments. I thought they were commitments.
Okay, and there is a difference. There is a difference.
It's not a commitment. This is your assignment. Mm-hmm. Okay, just like in school, take it, do it, pass it in.
Turn it in.
That's your assignment. And I was taking it as commitments, and I'm holding on to it, and I'm putting it in the bag like I'm supposed to have it forever. No. Now I'm learning, that getting one with him and discernment, like, okay, this is an assignment. So I'm supposed to come here, I'm supposed to do that. It's not about, I can't get attached. This is an assignment.
But that's why when we pray, okay, we have to ask God to give us wisdom and knowledge and clarity on a daily basis. And that should be a part of our prayer life.
Yes. Because some of us
help me to understand the assignment.
Some of us so cloudy, we just, Lord. I'm gonna start buying folks Windex because they think
Absolutely. No, and I know where you're coming from.
It's what I said this once. When you go and you look in the mirror and you get your Windex and you start spraying and you wiping and the spot's still there, it ain't the glass.
Well, not only that. What is that? And I may not be saying it correctly, but the side mirrors. What does it say?
The
objects in the mirror are supposed to be
up here.
And so that's where we are. Well, Donnie, we're gonna close out with that.
That was good.
I want to thank you so much for coming on my show.
It is your show.
but also, like I said, we laugh and we joke about a lot of things. But I know you're doing great things within the community. You did an art show a couple of weeks ago where I called you to get the information from me, but also your greater is now. Your greater is not next. Your greater is now. And so I want you to thoroughly embrace that. Embrace the journey. There's joy in the journey.
Yes.
That's what you want to make sure you get out of it, that there's certainly joy in the journey. And the blessing is God could have chose anybody, but he chose you. So you can have your show back now.
Look here. I want to just say this. I am greatly humbled. I thank First Lady. I call her First Lady because I'm gonna call her. It's my show now. I can say what I want to say. I thank First Lady for giving me this time. It is an honor. Let me tell you, man, she's doing wonderful things here. She's doing wonderful things. So she wants me to take the show back. I'm not. Look, she hates the camera, but in my show now, she just said so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back over to her because what I want her to do is to tell y'all about this place and tell y'all what she has to offer here because that's what you need. You don't need to see I know. You don't need to see this old ugly mug, but what you need to do is you need to listen up because she's got some powerful stuff. They got some wonderful things going on here. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. Look here. Ain't ever a mistake. God don't make them. He don't make them. He don't make them. He don't. When he connects something together, look here. It's for a reason and a purpose. So I'm gonna turn it right on back over here to you, and I want you to light it up, light it up, light it up.
Well, I want to say thank you once again, honestly, and like I said, I'm a book author and I write. I don't do live camera shows, but after fear, lies faith.
Yes.
And so I was so determined that I was going to do this, even if I did it scared. So I did it. But more importantly than that, I do want to get the word across that we're located right in Pearland. We are a wealth of resources. We provide counseling for those that are uninsured, underinsured, underserved. As I said before, I was raised in Sunnyside. We go right back into those areas, and we don't look for certain areas that you have to come from. The need is so great right now in terms of mental wellness, mental health issues. We are going to have to get better about taking care of our mind and our mindset. So we have forums, we have seminars, we go into the schools where we are in partnership with HISD. In just a number of different areas, we provide services even in our local churches. And so what we are focused on doing is just to merely first meet people where they are.
Yes.
The need is so great, and the need for whether it be counseling, and we're not going to get into this tonight because there's such a difference.
Right.
Not everybody needs a therapist. Some people just need counseling, life coaches, pastoral care. All of those resources are important.
Yes.
But we go the extra mile, especially with the pastoral care, is we coach and we teach ministries, ministerial staff, our pastors and churches how to be more effective in taking a look at what people are going through.
Yes.
This pandemic has just raised mental illness now is a pandemic within a pandemic.
Yes, it is.
And so what we do is we gather resources, and not only that, we walk you through it. A lot of times you can call up agencies, and what they will do, they'll give you a phone number, and that's that.
Right.
We will walk you through the process. Maybe you can't afford, even with the services that we provide, because we don't accept insurance. We do no diagnosis. We do not accept insurance. However, what we do is it's done on a sliding scale. This is a nonprofit, and it's much of a ministry for those of us who really, really care about, especially those of color. And we're not pushing anybody else away.
Right.
But we have to meet people where they are.
Yes.
And Sunnyside is where I came out of. And
Gotcha.
so, when I leave here and when God calls my name, I want to leave here empty.
Yes.
Knowing
Yes.
that I've done everything that I could do to affect change, to go back to the communities, and to help in any manner that I can. So we are excited. As I said, we're in the Shaw Realty Agency here in Pearland. We can be reached at 281-830-8080. We'll post that information on. And like I said, if we can't help you, we will make sure. We are part of the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and so in a number of other groups. So we will make absolutely sure that we will walk you through the process, because we can end not only this generational curse of mental illness, but also this pandemic within a pandemic.
Yes, 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 and yes. Look here. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard her. That's right. She said it. Mm-hmm. So, look, it's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. I thank y'all again. I thank you. Selah, well, let's go. Yeah.
Unlocking the power within.
That's it. That's it. Reclaiming the seed. By yours truly, my worthless 2 cents, i.e., the Louisiana country boy. Hey, look here. Y'all have a good one now, you hear? I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Good night.
Yeah.
We did that in no time.
In no time. All right, let's see here. Where my old glasses? Let me see.